Thank you for clicking on this Rank the Movies bonus video. I'm Martin Prevost. So I did that 4-pack the other day on Tuesday of movies I had just watched that I'd never seen before, and they all happened to be horror movies. And then Wednesday came along, yesterday, and I went, I'm going to do something else. And I didn't plan on watching anything, especially not a horror movie. Then at about 7:30, I went, I'm going to watch a movie. And I started debating between a movie I was interested in on Tubi or a movie I had just gotten in the mail that day. Oddly enough, they were both horror films, and I picked one of them, and I decided I was so into this movie, and I so enjoyed this movie, I wanted to shoot a video on it. So when I got done with work, I'm now shooting this video. I'm done with work, and I'm gonna talk about this movie. It is called There's Nothing Out There. This film was actually one of the words are difficult sometimes. One of my friends who works at Mojo's in Green Bay actually told me about this movie. Told me it was a Trauma. It's released by Trauma. Was released by Trauma. And as most Trauma movies go, even though this version isn't a Trauma release, it is released by a company called Vinegar Syndrome. It still has the Trauma tag at the beginning of the film. It still has its Trauma tag at the beginning. It was recommended to me because I like weird horror movies, and I like those weird horror movies. And they thought, hey, this is a weird horror movie. Not a lot of people have ever heard of it because it was a very low budget film shot by a 20-year-old guy who his parents took out a mortgage on their house so he could make a movie. It's not a great movie. Like, it's not like Citizen Kane Citizen Kane. It's not like a Citizen Kane or a Shawshank Redemption. It's not a great movie, but it's a stupid fun movie that is just super enjoyable. I went in, and for the entire hour and a half, I was there. I was with this movie, and I really liked it, and that's why I'm doing this this review on it, because I want to my limited range of people, if I can even increase that a little bit and make people go, hey, check out There's Nothing Out There, do it. I had to buy this copy off of eBay, so this Blu-ray. I played around with some of the special features on here too, including watching some short films that this director has also made. He's a weird director, and I wouldn't mind checking out some more of his directorial talent. But getting into the movie, There's Nothing Out There. So basically, this movie opens up with a girl who's working in a video store. A black-gloved hand puts a movie on the counter, and as she's going to pull the movie from the shelf, because this movie was shot back in the late 80s, early 90s, so you still have VHS, she's going to pull a movie from the shelf, and the hand grabs her. She then tries to exit, and the person stops her, and it's a horror movie chase scene through this video store, where by the end of it, the girl is covered in film. Like, for some reason, they have film reels hanging, and they all get knocked over onto her, and she's, like, walking, and she's covered in film reels. So she eventually escapes, gets accosted by the man one final time, and then she wakes up, except she's driving her car. Like, she fell asleep driving and had this dream, so she's now driving her car off the road into the woods. She's okay. She's angry because it's her father's car, and, she's going to get in trouble for damaging her father's car, as the car is attacked by these giant tentacle things, and before you know what happens to her, we go into the intro of this movie, which is this shot of a camera moving down a digital, like, this is all done on computers, down a green and black tunnel that, like, bounces around. It looks like it's a fucking screensaver with, like, there's nothing out there, and then the actors' names coming at it. It looks like it's a screensaver. It's great. It's a great time. And I feel like this was added in later. Like, he had a shot that he was going to use for the same, like, everything coming at it, but it wasn't long enough, so he added in the screensaver, because it eventually gets to the end of using the screensaver, and now we're going down a hallway in a high school or a college. It's not really clear, like these are college kids or high school kids, but it's moving down a hallway and there's still stuff coming at you. So I'm like, I think this hallway shot was supposed to be the entire thing, but it just wasn't long enough, or it wasn't just not interesting enough. So we went with the screensaver. Um, we get into this classroom, and the teacher's talking to them about something they were supposed to read. It's her favorite story. They never say what the story is. And someone has drawn graffiti on the chalkboard. This teacher does not care. This teacher does not give a fuck about anything. And she eventually like, oh, well, they've only had a week to read this assignment. And then she asked them, well, how long do you have? Here's a question you can answer. How long until spring break? And they're like, 40 seconds. And my brain immediately went, what the hell has she been teaching this entire class period? Like high school or college, it's like an hour-long class. That's what a class generally is, at least when I went to school, and I feel like back in the late 80s, early 90s, it was still equivalent. That it would still be about an hour. So what the hell was she teaching on? That at the last minute of class was her decision, oh, I'm going to go over the assignment that I had them read, that I assigned a week ago for them to read. Like, it was just a weird, like, moment of, why wouldn't it just be like the wrap up of the class? Like, why do we need this introduction? It's a great moment. She then assigns them a 3,000 word essay about what they did on their spring break. I feel like that should come back later. Like, it should have ended with one of the characters reading their essay about what happened on their spring break, but it doesn't, which I'm glad, because the movie has a much better ending than that. So as we move forward into this movie, we then meet our core group of party kids. There are 7 of them, 3 couples, and Mike, who does not have a girl and is our main character. This movie does break, as much as it's going to make fun and point out the horror tropes. It breaks a horror trope, as there is no final girl. It's Mike, so it's a final guy. So maybe that is a turning of the trope. I don't know. But Mike is a horror movie aficionado. This movie came out long before Scream and Randy, and kind of predates it, as another example of that person who's just seen way too many horror movies and therefore can predict what's about to happen in a horror movie. They're talking about going up to one of the other guys' family cabin for spring break, just the 7 of them, which seems a little awkward that you bring the one guy without a girlfriend while the rest of you are going to try to get horny with your girlfriends. I've always found that weird in horror movies when it's an uneven, where, oh, we're going to go have this sex romp in the woods, and it's going to be 3 girls and 8 guys. Like, are you planning on having group sex at some point, or like, why are you inviting these random people who are not connected with somebody else in the group? Like, why is Mike coming along other than to be the voice of reason? Mike is also, everything Mike says is sarcastic. Like, he is sarcastic from the beginning of this movie to the end, even at times when he probably shouldn't be, and it almost verges on annoyance, but it walks a very fine line where you never get annoyed by the fact that he's still sarcastic, even in the later moments of this movie, because it's still funny, it's still entertaining, and that makes it more acceptable, more palatable to have him still be this very sarcastic person as they're being attacked. So they drive out to the woods, to the cabin, and they drive past where the girl ran off the road the night before. The paramedics are there. They say she's gone. They cannot find her. There's some blood, but there's no traces of anything else. Mike immediately goes, we should turn around. That's an omen. We should turn around. We should go home. Let's go home. And everyone else tells him, no, we're going on. We're going to this cabin. We've been on the road for hours. We're cabining it. This is happening. They get to the cabin, and they're unpacking, and Mike is still very much, we shouldn't be here. We should go. There's something wrong. And then he sees something moving in the woods. He goes, I should check that out. No, I'm not. And then he just grabs his bags and runs into the house. It's a good moment of, yeah, he's not stupid enough to fall for that very common horror movie trope of, oh, let me check out that noise. Then a group of skinny dippers show up to skinny dip in the lake, but it's just a pond. They've gotten their directions wrong. They think they are next at a campsite by a lake. Instead, they are next to this pond. They're at a pond next to the house, and they decide to go skinny dipping. Except none of them are actually skinny dipping. Like, yeah, they take off their shirts and they're all most of them they're all still in pants. Everyone it's like three guys and four girls. Again, it's a weird number of each, but all of the girls and most of the guys still have pants on. One of the guys has a jock strap on for some reason. He's just wearing his jock strap, and that's what he goes skinny dipping in. And they keep saying it. Oh, we're skinny dipping. You're not skinny dipping. You're just going into the water. You're swimming. You're dipping. And one of the girls even like. I have no problem if you want nudity in a movie and your actress won't do it. That's fine. That's their decision. Most of the time nudity isn't necessary, and therefore, who cares? But if you have a skinny dipping scene, and this is the only scene the actress is going to be in, they should probably be okay with the nudity. One of them still has a top on, which again, we're skinny dipping. No, you're not. You're not skinny, even when you're all in the water. And maybe now we can suspend our disbelief that they're all skinny dipping. We still know we're not all skinny dipping. Also, they keep the water is not super deep where they are. So even though they're in the water, most of them still they're still kind of floating up and you can see the pants. Anyways, they leave to never be seen again. They are not important to this movie. This movie has a lot of bits that are this is just happening because this happens in horror movies. I almost thought we'd see them dead or that they'd come back later, but they don't. They don't. They're just done. The skinny dippers are told, hey, you're in the wrong spot. This is not a campground. This is private property. And they nicely leave, even though they kind of look like the pissed off biker stereotype of horror movies who would come back to screw with them. How dare they say we can't skinny dip here in our pants? But they don't come back. They're actually very polite. Okay, we'll leave. It's seriously? You look like the badass bikers of this movie, and you're done. You're just done. You're done. We then have that night they're having dinner. The jock of the group looks like he's dressed way fancier than everyone else because he almost looks like he's got a white silk shirt on. He's got a nice vest on. He's really rocking it to the point where he runs into his girlfriend who just got done taking a shower, and she offers for them to have a quickie, and he goes, nah, and then she exposes herself, and he goes, what the hell was I thinking? Which is an appropriate response. What the hell were you thinking? Why are you saying that? Are you that hungry? You find out the creature can open doors because he gets inside and steals chicken and eats the chicken. Raw chicken. He steals and eats raw chicken, which causes a noise, which makes everyone, scurry into the house. As Mike is still saying, hey, this is horror movie 101. Why are we going into the house to investigate the noise? That night, the nerdy member of the group and his foreign exchange student girlfriend go for a walk in the woods. And as they're walking through the woods, she's trying to tell a story of two teens in the woods start making out and are eventually killed by someone. But she gets interrupted when he trips on a log, and then they're attacked by the creature, who kills him. She runs off after having her skirt ripped off, and runs headlong into a tree and gets knocked out. The weird part, I'll get to that in a minute, about the weird part of all of this. Two of the other characters, the jock and his girlfriend, who already had a quickie in the shower, decide to go skinny dipping, and they actually go skinny dipping. So that's the other problem with that earlier skinny dipping scene, is if you then have another scene where other characters also go skinny dipping, and they actually go skinny dipping, it just makes the earlier scene all that more what? Why was this needed? So they jump into the pond and they skinny dip, and the creature does the rake gag where it's crawling across the ground and all of a sudden it hits a rake. It gets popped in the face by a rake. This startles the two characters, so they decide to get out of the water and head back to the house, where they then try to have sex for a third time in front of a fire, but Mike has exited his room, still believing, without any proof, that there is something wrong. Startles them. He gets kicked in the nuts by his girlfriend. He's pissed off at Mike, and the jock and Mike have a very comedic fight. It's a very comedic fight as his girlfriend is trying to get her clothes together and eventually gets sucked into the basement by the creature. They all go to investigate, which of course Mike is against. Like, why would he go into the basement? She just got sucked. Why are we going into the basement? They don't find the creature. A cat falls from the ceiling. And I love the fact the cat falls from the ceiling. The cat is stated that, oh, this is, she just tripped on the cat. And then before the scene ends, we do get Mike going, why? Why was the cat on the ceiling? It was a great moment because why? Why do cats end up, like, this fall? I know that trope. I've seen it, like, Community's done it. And I've seen it in some horror movies where, like, animals just fall. Generally, cats just fall from, like, if I had a cat, I could just have it fall from the ceiling right now. But I did not plan that out before I started recording this. But yeah, all of a sudden, it's just the cat falls from the heavens. And they do question it. The Mike does question, like, why? Why is that cat in here? He then gets slugged in the gut by the jock, and they lock him in the basement for the night. He is attacked by the creature, who the creature grabs at Mike's hand, which is holding a hammer, and hits itself in the head. Mike breaks a window to escape, and apparently, and that's where the scene cuts out. The creature lunging at Mike after he's broken a window to escape. We then go to the next morning. They're wondering why their two friends haven't come back yet. The nerd and his foreign exchange student girlfriend. The girl who got sucked into the basement is resting in a bed upstairs. And they realize they forget about Mike because the water doesn't work, because while he was fighting the creature, he ripped pipes out of the wall. They go to investigate, and Mike is gone. They can't find him. The creature's gone as well. It's not attacking them. But the basement is flooded with water. So the person whose house it is goes to get a plumber. And he leaves in the car because the car works. So he leaves. Whoop-doop-doo, he drives off. And does not get accosted by the creature, which I really thought he was going to get accosted by the creature. But they don't. They do not do that trope. And he is just able to leave. As the jock goes to check on his girlfriend, the alien is in bed with the girl and kills the jock and zaps green rays into the girl's eyes, which makes her pass out. The remaining love interest, the girl who is with the guy whose house it is, she has gone out for a swim and hears yelling. So she gets out of the water and just runs to the house. So she spends the rest of this movie in a bikini. Not to the detriment of anything. I mean, she was a very nice looking woman. So, you know, run around in a bikini. Why not? This movie, it's also a horror movie trope, is that women end up running around in the most scantily clad things you can ever imagine. She gets in. She's able to deflect the eye beams of the creature and get the girl out of there, but the dude is done. Mike eventually shows back up. He is not dead. The alien apparently leapt at him and into a wall, and he escaped the basement. He has already marked off the two people who went missing the night before. They're already dead. As far as he's concerned, he does not care. He goes and he sees the jock's face is now melting from being attacked by the alien. Apparently, digestive acid was used. The alien was trying to eat the jock. They then realize that the alien is probably, the reason it hasn't tried to eat any of the girls is because he most likely wants to reproduce with them. And, which raises a lot of questions, because he doesn't do anything. He knocks one out in the basement, doesn't do anything to her. He's in bed with her while she's resting, doesn't do anything to her. So apparently they have to be conscious for it to, I guess unconscious rape is not what the alien wants. It wants conscious rape. maybe consent. I don't know. Maybe the alien needs to ask for consent. I don't know why I'm saying that. As they're hiding out in one of the rooms, the foreign exchange student returns from the woods. She woke up, hit her head, and apparently the alien never found her. Or again, it will not do anything to an unconscious woman. As they eventually get her into the house. The alien attacks. You find out that the green beams it shoots from its eyes allows it to control whoever gets hit by them. So the Jock's girlfriend, begins to attack our bathing suit girl as the alien attempts to mount the foreign exchange student. Eventually, the foreign exchange student ends up getting accidentally killed with a baseball bat to the head, which stops the alien's progress, and then Mike shows up to spray the alien's face with shaving cream, because apparently nobody likes shaving cream in the mouth. It's at this point our homeowner returns with a plumber. He has no idea what's going on. Eventually, he gets brought up to speed on the alien, and the plumber gets killed. And they plot to defeat the alien by realizing it's really dumb, which it's true. A lot of these creatures in these horror movies are that. They're just dumb. Like, they're good at what they do, but they're not smart. So they plan to use it being dumb to their advantage. Eventually, they are able to lock it in a stove and burn it to death. They then escape using the plumber's car because they destroyed the car that they came in. Eventually, they pick up the girl who was at the beginning of the movie who got attacked by this thing, and they're not 100% sure if she's impregnated or not, so they throw her out of the car. And that's how the movie ends. It's a great movie. I really enjoyed There's Nothing Out There. I thought it was a really fun film. Again, it's not the greatest movie ever made, but they do a great job on this film, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's a very enjoyable movie. If you ever get a chance to check out There's Nothing Out There, I highly suggest it. I really liked it. I liked it enough that I've done a 22 plus minute talk about it, because I did. I really enjoyed this movie, and I just wanted to talk about it, and I had no one to talk about it with because I live alone, so I decided I'll talk about it to my phone. Yes, ha ha ha. If no one else is here, I can talk to my phone. That only makes me mostly crazy. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. Does it have gore and nudity? Yes, it has gore and nudity. Not a ton of gore. Like, the worst scene is the face melting. If you're someone who can't stand gore, the face melting's the worst of it. There really isn't anything else in this movie other than that. If you're an advert to nudity, then really avoid this movie, because basically every female character, except the one skinny dipper and the girl from the beginning, I think every other female character of any note in this movie, because there's the classroom scene, so there's a bunch of girls there and the teacher, they're also excused from this, but I think the rest of them at least get their top off once. I know the Jock's girlfriend, can't keep her top on in this. It's Leanna Quigley from Return of the Living Dead, where she's just any chance that this movie had to get her top off, it got her top off. So yeah, if you're opposed to those, this movie isn't for you. But if you like a good, weird horror movie that's also very comedic, that's very low budget, but still very entertaining, definitely check out There's Nothing Out There. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, the effects aren't amazing, like the effects on the alien creature. It's definitely a rubber puppet that's being slid around on the ground, but it adds to the charm of it. It was done definitely knowing the charm it wanted to go for. That it was definitely trying to reproduce a look, and then it was reproducing the low-budget horror film look, which is fine, because it's a low-budget horror film. But it definitely knew what look it was producing and going for. And again, if you can get the Blu-ray, this thing has a ton of special features on it. It's got a bunch of different short films that the director has done. I watched one called Mood Boobs, simply because it's called Mood Boobs, and I was really curious what the hell that is. I was really curious as to what that is, and it's about a girl who gets a wishing stone and wishes that her chest, her boob size increased and decreased with her mood, like a mood ring, except with her boobs. And then she's trying to figure out how to undo the wish because having uncontrolled boob growth isn't a good thing. It was a weird short film, but a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It was entertaining. So yeah, check out There's Nothing Out There. It was a good time. I enjoyed it. Obviously, the main video this week is Nicolas Cage, good or bad. So see what you thought of that. Maybe I got it wrong, and I thought Nicolas Cage is better than most people do. I think he's the good kind of bad. He's so much the good kind of bad. The kind you want to watch over and over again. I'm excited for his new movie where he plays himself. There'll be a review for that because I will go see that as soon as I can. So yeah, check out that video. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your time. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any more of these drops this week. Maybe because I'm probably going to go watch some more Tubi in a little while. There's a couple of movies on there I'm still kind of curious that I still want to see. Like I said, this one I watched last night and I really, really enjoyed it. And I want to talk about it. I know I'm waiting on the movie Popcorn to come in the mail. I ordered it and I'm waiting for that to show up. So I'm definitely going to watch that sometime this weekend. So, because it's supposed to be here tomorrow. So I'm definitely going to watch that sometime this weekend. I also have the Mutilator. I think it's called The Mutilator. I've been wanting to watch this movie and I never stream it. And I know you can stream it everywhere, but I never think of actually streaming it. So I just bought it because it was on sale. So I'm like, I'm gonna buy it. It's on sale. Screw it. And I'm just gonna watch it because I actually want to watch this movie, and I've never actually sat down and streamed it. I've actually started keeping a list on my phone of any movies that I want to stream, especially if it's like Tubi, because you really can't make a list on Tubi that it saves, because like if I go on my phone, if I'm out and I go, oh man, and I look it up on Tubi and I save it to there, my Tubi list on my phone is not the same as the Tubi list on my TV, so I would just rather just make a list on my phone, and just in case I want to search some other, like, is it on any of these other sites that I might be able to watch it ad-free, maybe. If you don't have Tubi, get Tubi. Tubi's a good time. It's got a lot of good crap on it. If you want to watch The Green Mile with ads, that's on Tubi. I saw that one. I didn't watch it because I own The Green Mile on Blu-ray. Somewhere on that shelf that's actually just off of screen right there. There's a copy of The Green Mile on that shelf. I also have it on VHS off to my side. So I got options. I'm watching The Green Mile if I wanted to, but I also have Tubi. I'm really off topic. There was something else. I just bought. Oh, An American Werewolf in London. I need to watch that too because I've never seen it. And again, I really want to. It was on like super sale. It was like $5 on Amazon. I'm like, $5 for the Blu-ray? Might as well. So I don't know. There might be another one of these drops on like Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. I can't predict the future. I can only live my life. Well, I've rambled on enough. Check out There's Nothing Out There. Check out Pieces. I know I did that video. Was the one I dropped on a Tuesday. But check out Pieces. Pieces was a good time. I'm Martin Prevost. This has been a Rank the Movies bonus video, which I'm doing more of because, I don't know, I like talking movies. And I don't have a lot of people I can talk movies with in my life. So, whatever. I don't care if people watch these anyways. I'm doing it for myself anyway. I do this mainly for myself. So, yeah. All right. See you later.